Good morning guys and welcome to a new video. So in our video today we're going to do a comparison between the Near Zero, the very famous Near Zero grinder versus the Starseeker Edge 63. This is a new grinder, a bigger brother to the previous Edge that came like a year ago, and I've got a lot of questions about this grinder because it was really long waited to have a big burr or a bigger burr than the 48 or the 38 kind of burrs. And when we got the E55, it was a little bit step up, but people were like waiting still to get a bigger burr, and they're aspiring to have a normal burr size, like a near zero burr size, for example, not jumping to the 83 and 82 and these bigger burr sizes for now. But at least this is one of the very famous grinders till now. I've been using it for like 4 years now, and it's still performing very well, mostly on daily basis. It makes me amazing cup of coffee, the Near Zero. Yet it is, it is becoming old style in shape, and even the price is a little bit high. So we'll talk about all that in our comparison today. So I would like to start my comparison by giving you an idea of each one, how it looks like. So the Near Zero, as you see, it's made all of metal. The body is made of all of metal, and it has some wooden accents on the feet and on the cup tray and this cover also. And there is a top cover that is made of plastic, and the grinder has a safety button here. So this safety button has to be always pressed so that the grinder will start. So if I turn it on like that, it will turn on. But if the lid for any reason is removed or took away, it will not turn on unless you press this button with anything like a stick or so that it can work after that. So this is how the button looks like. It's a red button that is here under this burr, under this lid, this red button. And in the lid there is like a plastic knob coming out here, and this plastic knob is pressing on the red button so that the grinder safety button is pressed, and then it can work. Okay, this is about it. And some people say that it looks like a juicer or so. I mean, I like how it looks like, to be honest, and I loved it since day one. And a lot of people are still fan to that kind of a style of a grinder, and some others would see that this is an obsolete style, definitely, since there is a lot of new shapes in the market. Every day there are a lot of new designs, and when we look at Near Zero as a grinder, it has been always they just made two grinders and both of them look exactly the same. So innovation wise, maybe it's a little bit behind if I talk about that. Okay, even though the material is amazing, definitely it's made in China, but yet it is really rocking it till now. In 4 years it's still shiny, everywhere of it is just great. Looking at the other grinder, I have the Starseeker Edge 63. So this is made all of metal, as you see, and it feels a little bit heavier than the niche. It's actually heavier than the niche, like 1 kilogram extra in weight. So it's like 5 kilograms versus 4.1 kilograms. So this is a little bit heavy machine. It looks more modern than the Near Zero. Looking at the style of it, it's all made of metal. It looks like a standing grinder, not having any angles, and it's not slanting or so, but it has more modern look according to how the market looks like, how the market grinders look like. And it has a lot of other features that the niche is not covering. Like what? For example, like the magnets. So you put the magnet like that, so the cup will always stay in place. There is no need for you to make sure that it is in place. Aside from that, looking at the other Near Zero, to compensate not having a magnet, they put this kind of like a wooden cup tray, so that it has that groove, and that groove will help the cup stay in place. So this is how this grinder is fixing the cup in place. And the Chinese people, they are always coming with new innovations and new ideas, so they will always find ways to cut cost and make things more efficient. That's why a small magnet like this will make it easier than making a big piece of wood like this, walnut wood or so, and then making it grooved and then fixing it under this, like using a screw under that to make it as a lock, to lock it in place. This is a little bit of cost comparing to just a small magnet like that will do the job even better. Okay, so looking at the near zero, there is no more features. I mean, just the grinder, just the mechanism, the stepless mechanism that it has to adjust the grind settings, and that's it. Looking at the Starseeker Edge, there is a bellow that comes with the grinder. You can use it, or if you don't want it, you can just use the lid like that without the bellow. I usually use a bellow even with the near zero because it helps with, you know, pushing the rest or the remaining of the grinds after finishing the grinds. But because there is no bellow that can fit here and that this has to always be closed, it is kind of impossible to have a mechanism that has a bellow on the grinder all the time, unless you get these 3D printed things or the 3D models that people make made of wood. It will go a little bit above the grinder like that, and it will help press this one also. So instead of that, I use this kind of plastic, like rubber. I don't know, they use it for kids, I believe. So we just use it like that to blow the rest of the coffee after grinding. It has been doing the job with me also for like 4 years, so I'm not complaining about it, even though it doesn't look like a good thing. But I just don't keep it around the grinder, just keep it away from my eyes. I just use it when I grind. Okay, so looking at the edge as a grinder, it has a stepped mechanism. It has 10 microns per step. So when you use it, when you try to change the grind settings, it will be like that. So the numbers are here, and this color has the numbers. It does not change the numbers when you change the color. And this is the good thing. If you open the burr, for example, you will not change the grind settings or the grind calibration, because this is separate from that. So when you remove the burr, you just take this part out, and note that this will keep attaching here. It will not change how high or low this part is compressing the burr, so the grind settings will always be the same, which is also a good thing. Okay, looking at the shoot of the Niche Zero versus the shoot of the Starseeker Edge 63. In the Niche Zero, the shoot is made of plastic. It is not removable. You just have to, I knock it like that. Sometimes I knock it with the brush that comes with the grinder like that, to take out any remaining coffee, like what you see now. Just a few coffee dust is remaining. So this is how I knock it. Here there is no knocker on the edge, but there is a magnet on the shoot, so you can take the shoot completely out and make sure that you took all the coffee while cleaning the grinder, for example, or so. You can always take out all the remaining of the coffee parts, which is a good thing, because there's two small magnets here that can take all this metal shoot out, so you can simply take it out completely. Okay, looking at another aspect of the edge that is not there in the niche, like what? Like this ionizer that is here. And for the people of you who don't know what ionizer does, they say that scientifically it helps to reduce the coffee flying around, so it will make you a cleaner grind. However, you can just use a spray of water on your coffee. Even though this has an ionizer, but still I use the spray of water to make sure that the coffee falls smoothly without the need to make any mess around the ionizer itself. Okay, so I just do that. And I noticed that it helps to reduce the coffee static electricity while grinding the coffee. For sure it does, but still you can call me a little bit old style when I use the spray with every time I grind. Like, looking at the size of each grinder, this looks smaller because the Niche Zero takes a bigger volume of the space. So the Niche Zero looks like that. Well, this one looks only like that. So this takes a little bit bigger space because of the feet of the grinder. It's taking a little bit of a space. Here we're talking about a little bit vertical grinder that has a minimal footprint, yet it is heavier than the Niche Zero. So if I have a scale here now, let's see how each one of them will weigh. So this is the Starseeker. It weighs 4.8 kilograms. And looking at a grinder like Niche Zero, this has, I think, 4 or 4.1. 3.99 kilograms. So it is like 4 kilograms. So the difference is like 1 kilogram between them in weight. Okay, so looking at that as an aspect, it is also good to notice that this is a little bit heavier for carrying purposes. However, when the grinder is heavier, this gives you more stability while grinding, so it's still a good thing. But looking at the feet of the Niche Zero, the Niche Zero has 4 wooden feet on the bottom, and these wooden feet are made of very nice wood material, and under each feet there is also a small piece of rubber that helps the grinder to stay in place, so it is not moving around. However, it's easy to, with one finger, to just push it like that without applying any force. Even with my pinky, I still able to move it, but I cannot do that to this grinder because this is made of all like solid piece of metal. So whenever I try to push it, it will not shake like the Niche shakes. Okay, so this is also something that you keep in mind. So heavy weight and also heavy or more stability on the edge as a grinder. On the edge side, if you look at under the grinder how it looks like that. It has that kind of a, so it has this kind of like a rubber, a full piece of rubber covering the metal base of the grinder, and this helps the grinder to stay in place and not to shake at all. So this is also something about the design of each of them. So the design is different completely. Maybe some of you will have a favorite design like the Niche Zero design. Some others would favor the new kind of modern grinders styles like this edge grinder, for example. And these guys in China are just coming up with new designs every day. We haven't seen a lot of changes over years in grinders like Niche Zero, or companies like Niche Zero. They only came up with 2 grinders, this one and the Niche Duo, and I didn't see any other products that they come up with aside from being the pioneers of making like single dose grinders, and then everyone else made it better than them, or made a lot of innovation in the single dose grinders after they came up with the first single dose grinder, which is the Niche Zero. So looking at the technical specifications of both the grinders, when we come to Niche Zero, it has a very powerful motor that has 350 watt. This is really a powerful motor compared to the other grinders like the Starseeker Edge that 63 that has only 68 watt motor. So comparing the motor wattage, there is no comparison at all. This is a clear win for the Niche. I'm not sure if we really need that kind of a powerful motor in a grinder or no, because by the time they made the Niche Zero, maybe this was just a heavy lifting or heavy duty motor that is mostly maybe not needed for a grinder, because even with the smaller edge that had 48 or 38 millimeters burr and only 48, I believe, watt motor, it was able to grind like light roast normally without any staling or anything, cold starting even, not also not hot starting. So I mean, I'm not sure if really having a very powerful motor like that is very necessary in a grinder, or that less than that will still do the job without any staling issues. Okay, this is something for the people who have technical information, technical background. They can answer that. Okay, so the motor here is definitely stronger. RPM here is 310 RPM, and here it is 220 RPM. So we're talking about probably 30% RPM, 30% increase in the RPM here on the Niche side. Both of them don't have any regulation for the RPM, so you cannot do like a variable RPM unlike other grinders in the market. Maybe they will come up with a new version that has the variable RPM adjuster on the side, but for now this version doesn't have any variable RPM. So I would say that they are kind of similar in that aspect. Nobody has ever measured the steps of the Niche Zero, or what is the step size from a dot to another dot or a step to another step. We don't know that, but we have seen some information from Starseeker that they mentioned that every step is just 10 microns from the next step. So even though it's stepped, but it feels like a stepless grinder, because 10 microns is very minimal like distance that the burrs can travel. So you wouldn't need less than that. I mean, in the end, you need to be very, very, very precise if you have to select less than one step to make a change in your cup of coffee. So I wouldn't think that this is a big problem unless the steps size were really big. Okay, so this is how technically both of them is. Looking at the accessories that come with each of them, so Niche Zero came with this cup. It's a very nice metal cup that fits the 58 millimeter portafilters nicely. And looking at the other things that came with the Niche Zero, this nice brush also came with it, wooden brush. I've been using it for years and it's still as new, so it is a good quality brush definitely. And it came also with this screwdriver that will help us to unlock the burr of the Niche Zero so that we can make it clean, or we can clean the burr. Okay, so these are the accessories that came with the Niche Zero. And when we look at the Starseeker Edge 63, it came with this cup also that has a magnet in the base. And this cup, for some reason, it gets open. I don't know what exactly the reason of a cup to be open. Maybe because this acts like a dosing ring. Maybe it anyway fits here as a 58 millimeters basket. And this still takes more than 20 grams of coffee. It's big. It's just a little bit shorter than, or actually the same height of the Niche Zero, just a little bit shorter than the Niche Zero's cup. So it takes like 30 grams or 40 grams of coffee, I think, with no problems, okay? But this can act as a collar to make the cup taller in case you're grinding more. It can also act like a dosing ring if you use it to make like WDT in the puck before like tamping. Or I think that this is smaller, has a smaller neck here to fit other sizes of portafilters, which is a smart thing, but I don't have a smaller portafilter like 54 or so to try it and see. So I cannot confirm that, okay? So the Niche Zero has a lid here that keeps on all the time on the side of the grinder. So as long as the grinder is plugged, this red light will always be there and it will not close, okay? On the Edge grinder, there is no lid on the side unless you turn it on like that. So if I connect it to the port, the lid here will light in blue, and when I stop it, it will dim back. So it will not make any lights unless you are using it. Okay, so this is about the Edge 63. So this is briefly all of it. So the Edge 63 came with this small pack that has a plastic brush. It's not comparable at all to the Niche's brush. Definitely there is a difference in quality and manufacturing. This is a very small, cheap one. This is a nice premium feeling brush. So definitely this is better. And it came with these two parts that complement each other to act like a wrench to remove the burr. So they get like that, interlocked, so that you can remove the burr of the grinder. So when you open it, you can use it to open the burr grind of the grinder. Definitely the bolt of the burr is bigger. That's why, as you see, for the Niche's bolt is small. That's why we use this small size, and this is a bigger one. Okay, so this is about that part. There is just one last thing, which is, I think, 2 or 3. I believe there are only 2. Yeah, there are only 2 replacements for the spring that's under the burr, just in case you lost one or so while cleaning the grinder. You can have also that replacement. Also, the Niche has the same. It's hidden inside the body of the grinder, and a lot of people don't know about that. So when you take out the cup of the Niche Zero and take out the tray of the cup, you can remove this screw. I just don't keep it very tight so that I can remove it easily. And as you see under that, you can find these 2 springs that you can always put them and use them. Okay, so that's about the Niche Zero. And one last thing between the 2 grinders is that if you don't need to have a long cord of the Niche Zero, you can always push it inside. So on the back side of the grinder, as you see here now, like that, there is a space that you can push the excess wire that you don't use, so that it can make your bench clean. Okay, it comes with a normal cord, It is not detachable from the grinder body, but on the other side, this comes with a converter that you cannot put inside the body of the grinder. You cannot make it small. It's just a converter like that that comes with like a laptop charger size. Okay, and you can just plug it into a port on the back side of the grinder here, like that. And if you don't use it, you can just unplug it like what I do now, so that it's easy to carry it and separately from the plug. Okay, and you have to plug it all the time so that you can be able to use it. Okay, this converter works for both 110 and 220 volts, so that's also a good thing that it can cover people everywhere. Looking at inside each of the grinders, let's do that and see how they look like. So I'll start with unplugging the cord again and looking at inside the grinder here in the edge 63. So I first will open this one clockwise, like that, and then it will come out like that. This is the part that I'm talking to you about. For cleaning, you can just use a brush to clean the coffee that is here, the remaining coffee. There's an anti-popcorning device here as well. And on the Niche Zero, there is an anti-popcorning device that's made of plastic. They attached it to the screw in the new versions because the first generation of the Niche Zero didn't have it. So they figured out that when you slow feed the beans, this will help you, they call it flow control disc, and it acts like an anti-popcorning as well. So it's a good attachment to the grinder. Here there is no flow control because, as you see, the coffee will fall here, but the slow RPM will help to compensate for the flow control. And meanwhile, this acts like a anti-popcorning so that the coffee will not jump out. Okay, under that there is some threads here, and this is the part that when you move left or right here, you can change the settings, because when you move this one, that part, as you see, that neck will press on the burr, so it will get them to be closer to the grind finder or a little bit far from each other so you grind coarser. Okay, we then remove that part, and as I mentioned in a previous video, this comes in a specific shape that you cannot make it wrong, or you cannot mistakenly put it, which is you have 3 parts here and 2 parts there. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and under that there is 4 springs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is a lock here for safety. This lock is like a long screw, kind of. It's very long, that the grinder will have it as a safety measure. So what happens is, in case for any reason you are going for a very coarse grind, this would stop the grinder from grinding, because they would understand that maybe somebody is opening it and there's no point of grinding for that coarse grind. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and this is how the burr look like. So it has 8 blades, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 blades, and as you see, the grind chamber is very clean. There's just a small amount of very fine coffee grinds that is here, that is there. This is how it looks like, very clean from inside. Just a small amount of coffee that is remaining. Maybe if we push the burr, if we turn it on, or if we can suck it with the vacuum, and the rest is just very clean, as you see. This is how the burr looks like. I'll quickly use the vacuum to take out that. The good thing about this grinder is that usually when you clean it, the springs will not fall down easily. They will still be kind of in place, so you will not easily lose them. Okay, so to take out the burr, you just need to remove that bolt using the wrench that came with the grinder. Yeah, you turn it on like that so that it can easily take out the nut on the top, and then this washer, and then this is the burr. Very small coffee grinds under the burr. Take that out now. So it has the word espresso written on it. It has some code on it. I think this is the manufacturing date, 9th of November 2024. Espresso, and that's the code, MS6301. Okay, this is made of stainless steel. The other burr of the niche is made of hardened steel. So I don't know if there's a difference between the hardened steel and the normal stainless steel. Maybe the hardened steel can be a little bit heavier duty, maybe. So this comes as a sweeper under the burr. Sorry. It has this small lock here. So it goes here and it goes into the burr, so the burr will always be in place while grinding. This is just a sweeper made of metal. It goes like that. So sometimes you might have some coffee here in that groove under the sweeper. So that's about the sweeper. And then this is the coffee that is there in the grinder. I want to weigh that to see how much is it. Let's see how much is that. I'll use a small gold scale that will help me measure precisely this amount of coffee. So this is the amount of coffee that was there in the grinder. Okay, and that is 0.1 gram. I can put the camera a little bit down. So this is 0.1 gram only. This is the amount of coffee, just a small amount of fines. And the rest is clean chamber, and that's it. So that's it, very simple grinder from the inside. And I'll now move on to the niche 0. Let's keep those two here. Let's go to the other side where niche 0 is. So to take out the niche 0, what you need to do is you just unscrew this one anti-clockwise. It's all made of metal, and it has that kind of mechanism under it so that you can take it out easily. This is how it looks like. It's pretty clean. Okay, keep it here on the side. And then you can take out that external burr. So this part is a little bit challenging because you cannot use your finger to add some force, so you can take out the nut on the top that locks the burr. So I use a chopstick or so to just yeah, like that. So you can take the first, to add the first force anti-clockwise to take out this flow control disc first, like that. It comes with the screw, and this made of plastic. You have to take care when you apply any force to it so that it doesn't crack. And then you can take out the external burr with your both fingers like that. And this is the burr and the burr carrier. This originally comes made of plastic, but I did that change many years back where I replaced the plastic part that bends over time and it keeps a lot of coffee under it because it's hollow from the inside. I replaced it with this part that is all made of metal, doesn't have any hollow spaces, so it is a little bit better when you use the grinder, okay, and more consistent in grinding. Just a little bit of coffee is remaining under the burr, which is normal. I mean, by using the grinder on daily basis, the coffee and the fines and the oils will always make that kind of coffee residue under the burr. So I'll clean that quickly, then we can check. So this is it after cleaning. I just add a little bit of grease here because this is made of metal, not plastic, so that it can make it metal on metal smooth while you are like rotating the burr left and right. It has some writing under the burr, Major 01910. Okay, so this is made by Major, the Italian famous name, and this burr is made mainly for espresso. So people usually use the Niche Zero or advertise it as a all-purpose grinder, but it's mainly having a burr that is only used for espresso. So this is the burr look, and then this is our friend. This is the burr of the Niche Zero. That's how it looks like. Okay, this is made of hardened steel, so let's give it a quick clean. Okay, this is how it looks like versus the burr of the Starseeker Edge 63. So both of them have 8 blades. They are not looking similar. As you see here, the Niche Zero has a small gap between each blade and the next one. So this helps, I believe, helps in making more fines. But here, as you see, the burr style is completely different. And I don't know, I feel that it has a complete different geometry between the two burrs. You can tell. You can tell the difference between both of them. So that's why they just give different taste profile for the coffee. Let's see how each of them weigh on the scale. I don't want this is just nothing but just for us to see how they look like and how they weigh. So check the Starseeker Edge. I feel that the Niche Zero's burr is a little bit heavier, but let's see. This weighs 93.7, so let's say 94 grams. Niche Zero burr is 96. So 96 versus 94, mostly similar in weight, but not similar in how they look like and how they are, the blades look like. Completely different. Okay, and about the other one, compare the Starseeker also to the Niche. They look also different, the teeth on each of them. I believe they might be a little bit similar, just little. The burrs look very different. Here I see that the gap between each teeth and the next one is bigger here than here. I think so. But anyway, this is how each of them looks like. So they look very different, the burrs. And inside the chamber, there is also the sweeper. It comes like that. There's some coffee also attached to it. So you need to clean your grinder every now and then. For me, I clean it every, like, I'd say every 3 months or so. Sometimes I take months without touching it, so if I don't use it a lot, I don't clean it, to be honest. But cleaning both of them is easy, I have to say. So I will then sweep the remaining of the coffee using a brush. Okay, I think this is also weighing nothing, maybe 0.1 gram also, which is very minimal. I'll check the weight of the coffee inside. Yeah, it's 0.1 gram. Just like the other one, 0.1 gram, just very minimal coffee residue. So I would say that the retention of both of them looks similar, and there is nothing more to do here with the niche aside from looking at the chamber inside. It looks different from the other one, and it has only 2 springs. And I will now put everything back. So this is how I calibrate it. Okay. It is just giving me settings at 20. I'm not going to change it. And see. Now I'll move back to the Starseeker to put everything back in place. So this arrow here will be in the middle. This means that you close it properly. And I am still keeping my calibration settings. So I didn't touch my calibration. So I'll just keep everything as is. So this is how I open each of them. Now before grinding some coffee with them, or making some coffee and seeing the test results, I want to see what is the sound of each of them. So I will use an app on my phone to show you the sound of both of them. Measure the sound of both of them. I'll start with the Starseeker Edge 63. So around 54 decibel about the niche. .63 decibel. So we talk about 10 decibel difference between both of them. Niche is a little bit louder. Starseeker sounds more quieter. And that's all the aspect of our comparison for this part of the video. Now let's grind some coffee with both of them and see the results that we can get with both of them. So I usually know that people say that Niche Zero can make filter coffee as well as espresso. However, the burr in it is just made for espresso. It's made for Mezzaconi. Mezzaconi is an espresso grinder, not a filter coffee grinder. So when I try to make filter coffee with it, they mention here that you can make filter or drip from 30 to 40. This is definitely impossible, because to make filter with Niche, I just go one full turn, something like I go to 0 again, and in the end I get a muddy cup of coffee. So I don't use it for filter at all. Maybe very rare times in my life that I use Niche Zero for filter. It's not advised to use it for filter. Unless you like to have a little bit strong cup of coffee that has a lot of fines, then you can go for that, okay? Looking at the other part of the Starseeker Edge, it has less fines than the Niche. It's mainly made for espresso, but it can do also filter. I'll just grind some coffee and show you the cup of coffee that it makes. So guys, I will use some beans from Colombia called La Covita. This is roasted on 29th of January. Okay, and that's how the beans look like medium light beans. I like to roast my beans to medium light because it's really fruity anaerobic beans. So I feel that I don't want to give it more heat than it needs, just to give me that fruit notes that I buy it for. I don't recommend it to go for like medium or medium dark roast. So I'll weigh 18 grams here and 18 grams there. I'll try to grind them at the same time to see the difference that each of them makes. I'll just give it a spray of water on each. like that, using that sprayer. Sorry. This is the face sprayer I just use for spraying the coffee with water. It gives wider spread of water on the coffee with less water used. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to use the force tamper and the Duomo V8 for distribution to make sure that it goes consistent as much as possible. I'll weigh the cup, but I cannot weigh the 2 cups, so I wouldn't look at the end result because it should be just the same dose. So I wouldn't worry about that. So I'll try to put the coffee in both of them at the same time and turn on the timer to see how long time will we take in each. Okay, so I'll use that one here. We'll grind it at 20. I'm not sure if this is the right size, grind size here or no. I just use 20 as a starting point and see from there if I need to go finer or coarser. Meanwhile, I'll also do that here. I'll grind it like 33, 34. Yeah, 34. Maybe let's make it, should I make it 34? That's now 33. Make it 34. Oh, actually, make it 32. Yeah. I don't know why, but I just keep looking at the numbers this way every time. Okay, so I'll just put the color here and close that one, and then I'll start the grinding together on both the grinders. Let's see which one would sound louder, which one will finish faster. Niche should finish faster because it has faster RPM, and also it has more powerful motor. So it should go faster than the Starseeker. Let's see that. 1, 2, 3. Oh. The plug is not there, but it's okay. So we got the niche finished in 17 seconds, 18 seconds, or let's say 20 seconds. So 20 seconds is done already here. And here, this done, but the remaining of the coffee is just falling. I just need to blow a little bit. So I would say that there is like probably 10 seconds difference, which is still logical because this has faster RPM, like 30% increase in the RPM, 310 versus 220. So I would say that there is no better and worse between them. In terms of that, since this has a slower RPM, it is logical to grind slowly. This is how the coffee looks like. Very nice grind. And this is also how the coffee looks like from the niche. Also very nice grind. I'm just not sure if this is the right size for both of them or no. I'm trying to smell both to see, but I cannot tell if someone is better than the other in terms of the smell of the beans after grinding. I'll prepare the puck. And once I see the coffee coming out, I will open the valve completely. Once the scale here goes up, yes, then we can go. Looks like a very nice extraction. Single stream. Looks very, very, very nice, creamy extraction. And then I'll ramp it down and close at 36. So this is like 35 seconds extraction, and this is how the coffee looks like. Very yummy cup of coffee. Okay, I'll quickly prepare the other one. I'll keep this one over the machine. Let's start. And once I see the gauge moving, I will open the valve completely. So the extraction on the niche looks a little bit slower, so I need to grind cursor just a tiny bit on the niche, maybe 22 instead of 20. It is still extracting, but it looks very slow. Let's see how long will it take. Yeah, it is a slower extraction on the niche. So I should just repeat this. I think I'll grind on 23 maybe. So this took a lot of time, more than mostly a minute. So I will just repeat that extraction. So I'll do quickly grind at 23 on the niche, another 18 grams and see. Let's go. So probably the same 8 to 10 seconds until I see the gauge moving, then I move the valve completely. And this time the extraction is definitely better. Yeah, now it's dialed in, I would say. Yeah, we can go fair now. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. Looking very nice also. Okay, I want to taste both the cups now, and then I will try to do some refraction test to see the result. So you will find that the previous one, the first cup, is a little bit darker in color because it just got extracted longer time ago, but it is still hot. Yeah, it is still hot. Both of them are still hot. I kept it on over the machine so it didn't lose the heat. Just give a try also for the second cup, because it was over extracted, but it's okay. Let's see. So first I'll try this one. Nice, very balanced. I'm gonna try the niches, dialed in cup. So it's more acidic here. I would say that it's not muted, but I cannot specify a specific note here. I can feel the acidity of the fruits. I can feel the aftertaste that is there on the niche. It's lighter on the tongue, but I don't feel the end taste that I get here, and I feel a little bit of like, you know, flat taste in the end. About the third cup, the first niche cup that is a little bit over extracted. Not different a lot from this one. So let's do some refraction to see how the TDS looks like in each of the 3 cups. And I cannot say which one is favorite because you know everyone has his own taste, and I shouldn't say that this one is the best because maybe it's just for me it's good, but someone else doesn't like the acidity in coffee, so he wouldn't say that it's good for him. Okay, let's play with the refractometer and see the three of them TDS wise. Okay. I'll add the first cup of niche, which is this one. See the TDS of it. So this is the sample, but I have to just puff it a little bit to make it room temperature, like 24. The best way is to wait until the cups are completely room temperature, then you can try, but I just compensate that time by doing this activity, and it shows me the temperature of it. Now it is 26.3, which is fine. Yeah, so the first cup of niche is just 9.79. The one that was supposed to be over extracted, it's coming like that, which is still a sweet spot. It is nice. It is giving me 19.52 extraction percentage. So even though it was longer extraction, but for some reason it was not, even when I tried it, I felt that it's just tasting like the other one. So both of them were not similar in the time of the extraction, but the taste is just similar between both of them. Very similar. So let's look at the second niche cup. So this is 9.67, giving us extraction percentage of 19.52. Let's see the second one, the second niche cup. Take out this sample, push it, and then get it ready for the second sample from the niche. This was a little bit faster than the first one, but taste-wise, I didn't feel that there is a lot of difference, to be honest, between them. So not sure why is it like that. These are the two samples from niche 0. This is 9.92, so which is very similar to the first one, and the temperature is 27.4. Yeah, not, it's up to 40. It should be not more than 40 Celsius to put it on the sample cup. So it is still within the normal boundary. So it gives me 9.92, which is still a very good extraction, 19.84. So I get a lot of good extractions with the Lilith Mara X machine since I got it like 4 years ago. This is how the extraction looks like. So then the second niche cup, TDS wise, is good, but taste wise, I didn't catch a lot of notes when I was trying it. Let's see the third cup that's made with Starseeker. So both of the niche cups are very identical, very similar to each other. Let's see the third one, the Starseeker cup. Let's see how it feels. It's now, I think, cold enough. Okay, this is the sample. Let's go. Let's see the test result of it. 9.75. So still it is giving me sweet spot. So the three cups are giving sweet spot. So TDS wise, I wouldn't say that this is better because this is definitely took longer time, or this has more TDS, so it feels stronger on the tongue. So the experiment showed that the three cups are similar in the TDS wise, which means that the three of them are good identical cups of coffee, like as per the the international standards. So I wouldn't say that this is tasting bad, because this one is like, you know, under extracted and that one is over extracted. It's not that case at all. But looking at the taste of them, they are not the same. These two look very similar. Taste now, all of them are like خلاص room temperature. I get more flavors here. I cannot say that this is because of the low RPM. Maybe the burr is like, the burr geometry is different, that's why it gives a different taste profile, but I still favor it. I don't know, like, it's very hard to tell for everyone whether this is going to be the best or no. But for me, I like the acidity I'm getting here that I'm not finding here. And this is the same bean, the same extraction percentages in the 3 cups, also 19.5. So the 2 cups are mostly identical, 19.5, similar in everything, but the taste is not the same. The taste is having a bit of a difference. So this was the result of my experiment with and the long extensive video I did now for these 2 grinders. I hope it was beneficial to you to decide on each of them in terms of the capability and everything like that. I didn't mention the price because we all know that this is a little bit expensive than that one. Like, it will always be expensive. So I get it here in my country for around $800, even though it is sold for $700 on the website, but it's not including the shipping and all that. Well, this one, including the shipping, is only about $400, so, or 350, something like that. So it is just half the price of that one. So it's anyway, all the Chinese grinders will always be like half the price or third the price of the other big names of grinders or machines. So I'm not going to mention the price as something, as a win for this or that. I'm not sure if I missed anything else or no in this experiment or this comparison. It was a long one, I know, but I hope it was really beneficial to all of you. So I would say thank you so much to all of you for watching my videos, supporting my channel by liking, by subscribing, and see you in the next one.